Tonight's story is The Night Visitor. Let's begin.
The pregnancy test sat on the bathroom counter. Two pink lines glared up at Claire like an accusation. Impossible. She hadn't been with anyone in over a year. Not since the divorce. Not since moving into this house, her grandmother's house, the one she'd inherited after the funeral 3 months ago. The old woman had lived here alone for 40 years, ever since Claire's grandfather disappeared. Claire's hands shook as she picked up the test. She turned it over, checked again. Still positive, still impossible. She'd been having the dreams for 6 weeks now, always the same, waking in the night to the sensation of weight pressing down on her, breath against her neck, hands she couldn't see. She'd chalked it up to stress, sleeping in an unfamiliar bed, the creaks and groans of a house settling into its age. Old houses made strange sounds. Everyone knew that. But this was different. She grabbed her phone. Her fingers hovered over her sister's contact. Emma would know what to do. Emma always knew what to do. The phone rang 4 times before her sister picked up. "Claire?" Emma's voice was thick with sleep. "It's 7 in the morning. I need you to come over," Claire said. "What's wrong?" Emma's voice sharpened immediately. Sleep fell away. "Just, please." Claire's throat tightened. "I can't explain over the phone." 30 minutes later, Emma stood in Claire's bathroom. She stared at the test with the same expression Claire had worn earlier. Disbelief sliding into something darker. "You haven't been with anyone?" Emma asked carefully. "No one. Not even—" "No one, Emma." Claire's voice cracked. "I'm not lying to you." Emma set the test down. Her face was pale. "Then we need to go to the hospital. Today. Right now." "And tell them what?" Claire laughed bitterly. "That I'm having an immaculate conception? Tell them you need to know how far along you are." Emma's jaw tightened. "Tell them you need answers, because either something happened that you don't remember, or—" She trailed off, not wanting to finish the thought. "Or something else entirely." Claire made the appointment for that afternoon. As Emma left for work, promising to meet her at the clinic later, Claire found herself drawn upstairs, to her grandmother's room. She'd been avoiding it since moving in, leaving it exactly as the old woman had kept it. The door creaked as she pushed it open. The sound echoed in the empty hallway. Inside, the space was frozen in time. Floral wallpaper yellowed with age. A narrow bed with a faded quilt. A dresser covered in decades-old photographs. One photo caught her eye. Her grandmother as a young woman, maybe 25, standing in front of this very house. She was heavily pregnant. Her hand rested on her swollen belly. But her expression was wrong. Not the glow of impending motherhood. Something haunted, something afraid. Claire picked up the frame, turned it over, written on the back in her grandmother's handwriting. 5 months, still don't know how. The frame slipped from Claire's fingers. Glass cracked against the hardwood floor. The sound made her jump. She grabbed another photo, her grandmother again. Older now, holding a baby, Claire's father. The same haunted look in her eyes, and behind her, barely visible in the background, a door. The door to the basement. Claire had never been in the basement. The door at the end of the kitchen hallway stayed locked. She'd never found a key among her grandmother's things, never really looked for one either. Some instinct had kept her away from it. That instinct was screaming at her now. She went downstairs, stood in front of the basement door. The wood was old, darker than the rest of the house. Deep scratches marked the area near the handle. Scratch marks, like something had clawed at it from the other side. Or from this side trying to get out. Claire tried the handle, still locked. She pressed her ear against the wood, listened. Nothing but silence. Deep, heavy silence that seemed to push back against her, like pressure in her skull. Her phone buzzed. "Emma, appointment is at 2. I'll pick you up at 1:30. Claire stepped back from the door. She needed to find that key. An hour of searching through drawers and cabinets yielded nothing. Finally, she returned to her grandmother's room, to the dresser with its collection of memories. She opened each drawer systematically, found only clothes that still smelled faintly of lavender and mothballs. The bottom drawer stuck. She yanked harder. It came free with a shriek of wood on wood. The sound set her teeth on edge. Inside, beneath a folded nightgown, was a journal. The leather cover was worn soft with handling, the pages yellowed and brittle. Claire's grandmother's handwriting filled every line, cramped and frantic in places, eerily calm in others. The first entry was dated 1983. "It's been happening for 3 weeks now. I wake up and can't move, can't scream. I feel it on top of me, inside me. But when I finally break free and turn on the light, there's nothing there. Thomas thinks I'm having nightmares. He bought me sleeping pills, but pills won't stop this. Asterisk. Claire's stomach turned. She flipped forward several pages. The test is positive. I don't understand. I tried to tell Thomas the truth, that I haven't let him touch me since this started, that I can't bear the thought of anyone touching me. But he just smiled, said we'd finally done it, said we were going to be parents. How do I tell him that whatever is inside me isn't his? Asterisk. The page is blurred. Claire's hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold the journal. I found it! In the basement, the thing that's been coming to me. Thomas followed the thread. I'd pushed a needle into its skin the last time, just like my mother told me to do. The thread led down into the dark. We found it curled in the corner, dead or dying. It looked almost human in some lights, but in other, God help me, I can't describe what it really was. Thomas wanted to call the police. I stopped him, because even though it was dying, I could feel the baby move, and I knew, if anyone found out what the father was, they'd take my baby away. They'd study it, dissect it. So we buried the thing in the basement, poured concrete over it, locked the door. Thomas left 3 days later, couldn't look at me, couldn't look at what we'd done. I never saw him again. Asterisk. Claire dropped the journal. Her grandmother hadn't been alone by choice. Her grandfather had abandoned her because of what he'd seen in the basement, because of what she'd been carrying, because of what Claire's father was. The floor tilted beneath her feet. She caught herself on the dresser, knocked over a small wooden box. It spilled open. A single key skittered across the floor. Black iron, old and heavy, the kind of key that opened the kind of lock that was meant to keep things sealed. Claire picked it up. The metal was cold, so cold it burned her palm. She should wait for Emma, should go to the appointment, get answers from doctors with medical degrees and rational explanations, should do anything except what she was about to do, but she was already moving toward the stairs. Key clutched in her fist, drawn by the same awful gravity that had pulled her grandmother into the basement 40 years ago. The key slid into the lock with a soft click. The door swung open, darkness so complete it seemed to swallow the light from the hallway. A smell wafted up, earth and decay, and something else, something organic that had been sealed away for decades. Claire found the light switch. A single bulb flickered to life. It illuminated wooden stairs that descended into shadow. Each step groaned as she put her weight on it. She went down. The basement was smaller than she'd expected. Just a cramped space with a concrete floor, walls lined with old shelves. Empty, except for a patch in the center of the floor where the concrete was newer, darker. A patch roughly 6 feet long and 3 feet wide, like a grave. Claire knelt beside it, pressed her palm flat against the cold concrete. Beneath her hand, she felt something. A vibration. A pulse. Alive. Her phone rang. The sound shattered the silence like glass breaking. Emma's name flashed on the screen. Where are you? Her sister demanded. I'm outside your house. The front door's open. I'm in the basement, Claire said. What, Claire, what are you? Grandmother's journal. Claire's voice shook. I found it. Emma, this happened to her too. The dreams, the pregnancy, all of it. Footsteps thundered overhead. Emma's voice came from both the phone and the top of the stairs. Claire, come up here, right now. But Claire couldn't move because the concrete beneath her hand was warm now, getting warmer, and the vibration had become a rhythm, a heartbeat. It's not dead, Claire whispered. She thought they killed it, but it's not dead. Emma's footsteps clattered down the stairs. She grabbed Claire's arm, tried to pull her away from the concrete. We're leaving, now. Claire looked up at her sister. Feel it. What? Put your hand on the concrete, Claire said. Feel it. I'm not... Please. Emma knelt beside her, pressed her palm against the concrete. Her eyes went wide. Oh my God. The pulse was stronger now, faster, like it knew they were there, like it had been waiting for them. A crack appeared in the concrete, hair thin at first, then wider. The sound split the air like ice breaking on a frozen lake. Sharp, final. The pulse beneath their hands quickened. Thump, 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 racing now. Claire, Emma's voice was barely a whisper. We need to... The crack spread, spider webbing across the surface. Each new fracture made a sound like breaking bone. Snap, crack, splinter, then silence. Complete silence. Even the pulse stopped. Claire's heart hammered in her chest. Her breath came in short gasps. She could hear Emma beside her, breathing just as fast. Something moved beneath the concrete. A scraping sound, wet, organic, like flesh sliding against stone. The concrete bulged upward, just slightly, then sank back down. "Run," Emma said. "I can't." Claire tried to stand, but her legs wouldn't work. The concrete exploded. Chunks of it flew in all directions. Dust filled the air, and then a hand. No, not a hand. Something that had too many fingers. Skin that was wrong, too pale, too translucent. Claire could see things moving beneath it. Veins that pulsed black instead of red. It grabbed her ankle. The grip was cold, strong. It yanked her toward the hole in the concrete. Claire screamed. Emma lunged for her, grabbed her arms, pulled. "Let go of her!" Emma shrieked. But more hands were emerging now. Too many hands. They wrapped around Claire's legs, her waist. One touched her stomach, right where the baby was growing. And it stopped pulling. The hands went still. All of them. Holding her, but not dragging her down, like they were listening, feeling, recognizing. Claire looked into the hole, into the darkness where those hands came from. Two eyes stared back at her. Too large, too aware. Ancient and hungry, and somehow impossibly familiar. It knew what she was carrying. It knew its child was inside her. The hands released her, slithered back into the hole, back into the darkness. The sound they made, that wet, sliding sound, would haunt Claire for the rest of her life. Emma pulled her up, dragged her toward the stairs. They ran up, out, into the hallway. Emma slammed the basement door shut. The lock clicked into place. Both sisters stood there, gasping for breath, staring at the door. "What the fuck was that?" Emma's voice shook. "What the actual fuck was that?" Claire slid down the wall, sat on the floor. Her whole body was shaking. "It's the father." "What?" "The thing in the basement." Claire's voice was hollow. "That's what got my grandmother pregnant. That's what got me pregnant." Emma stared at her. "That's impossible. You just saw it." "No." Emma shook her head violently. "No, there's a rational explanation. There has to be." "Read the journal," Claire said. "It's all there." But Emma was already on her phone, dialing 911. "Yes, I need police and an ambulance. My sister's been attacked. Something in the basement." Claire grabbed the phone, ended the call. "You can't?" "The hell I can't. That thing is connected to what's inside me." Claire's hand moved to her stomach. "Don't you get it? If they find it, if they study it, they'll know what I'm carrying isn't human." "Jesus Christ, Claire." Emma's face was white. "Listen to yourself. You're talking like this is real. Like this is actually happening." "It is happening." "No," Emma backed away. "No, you're in shock. You're hallucinating. We need to get you to a hospital." "We're going to the appointment," Claire said. She stood up. Her legs were shaky, but they held. "Like we planned. We'll get the ultrasound and then we'll figure out what to do." Emma stared at her. "You're not seriously thinking of—" "I don't know what I'm thinking." Claire moved toward the door, away from the basement. "But I need to know what's inside me. I need to see it." The drive to the clinic was silent. Emma's hands gripped the steering wheel so tight her knuckles were white. Claire sat in the passenger seat, staring out the window, not seeing anything. The ultrasound room was cold, clinical. The technician smiled as she squeezed gel into Claire's stomach. "Let's see what we've got here." The wand pressed against Claire's skin. The screen flickered to life. Gray shapes swirled and shifted. The technician said. "What?" Emma leaned forward. "What is it?" "Give me a second." The technician moved the wand, pressed harder. "That's unusual." Claire couldn't look at the screen, couldn't bring herself to see. "I'm going to get the doctor," the technician said. Her smile was gone. "Just wait here." She left. The door clicked shut behind her. Emma grabbed Claire's hand, squeezed it. "Whatever it is, we'll deal with it." Claire finally looked at the screen, at the gray shapes that didn't look quite right, that moved in ways that human babies shouldn't move. "There's two of them," she whispered. "What?" "Two. Look," Claire pointed at the screen. "See? Two forms." Emma leaned closer. Her breath caught. "One of them is different," Claire finished. "Yeah." The door opened. A doctor entered. His face was carefully neutral. "Miss Harrington, I'm Dr. Chen. I'd like to run a few more tests." "What did you see?" Claire asked. "I'd rather not speculate until—" "What did you see?" Dr. Chen's professional mask slipped for just a moment. Claire saw fear flicker across his face. "There appear to be two distinct masses in your uterus, one consistent with a developing fetus, the other—" He paused. "The other is something I've never seen before." "Can you remove it?" Emma asked immediately. "We'd need to do more imaging, determine exactly what we're dealing with, schedule surgery." Claire sat up. "How long would that take?" "A few days, maybe a week to—" "No!" Claire swung her legs off the table, started pulling off the monitor wires. "We don't have that long!" "Claire, what are you—" Emma started. But Claire was already standing, already pulling her shirt down. "Thank you, doctor, but we're leaving. Miss Harrington, I strongly advise against—" "Noted, Claire grabbed her purse, headed for the door. Emma followed, caught up with her in the hallway. "What the hell are you doing?" "Going home," Claire said. "Are you insane? We need to—" "It's growing, Emma." Claire kept walking, toward the exit, toward the parking lot. "Both of them, they're growing, and when they're ready—" She stopped, looked at her sister. "When they're ready, they're coming out. With or without a doctor's help." Emma's face went pale. "Then we get you to a hospital, a real one, with surgeons who can—" "Can what? Cut out something they've never seen before, something that might not even be—" Claire's voice broke. "What if removing it kills the other one? The human one? You don't know that it is human. I know that it might be." Claire started walking again. "And I can't kill it without knowing." They drove home in silence. The sun was setting by the time they pulled into the driveway. The house loomed in front of them, dark windows like empty eyes. Inside, every shadow felt wrong. Every creak made Claire jump. Emma stayed close, kept checking her phone like she was debating calling 911 again. "Stay with me tonight," Claire said. Emma nodded. "I'm not letting you out of my sight." They made dinner. Neither of them ate much. Sat in the living room, TV on, but neither of them watching. Just waiting. For what, Claire didn't know. Around midnight, it started. The pain hit Claire like a punch to the gut. She doubled over, gasped. "Claire." Emma was beside her in an instant. "What's wrong?" "Contractions," Claire managed. "But it's too early, way too early." Another wave of pain, stronger this time. Claire screamed. "Hospital," Emma said. She was already pulling out her phone. "Now we're going, now." "No time," Claire gasped. Blood soaked through her pants. "Oh God, Emma, there's so much blood." Emma called 911. Her voice shook as she gave the address. "My sister's pregnant. She's bleeding. Something's wrong." Claire could barely hear her. The pain was everything now, consuming her. And beneath it, she felt movement inside her. Both of them moving, fighting. One wanted out. The other wanted to stay. The ambulance arrived within minutes. Sirens wailed in the quiet neighborhood. Paramedics rushed in, started asking questions. Claire couldn't answer, could barely breathe. They loaded her onto a stretcher. Emma climbed into the ambulance beside her, held her hand. "You're going to be okay," Emma whispered. But her eyes said she didn't believe it. The ambulance raced through empty streets, red lights flashing, sirens screaming. Inside, the paramedics worked frantically, checking vitals, hooking up IVs. Their voices were urgent but distant, like Claire was underwater, like she was already somewhere else. Blood pressure's dropping. "Start another line." "We're losing her," someone said. The ambulance filled with urgent voices, hands pressing on her, needles sliding into her arms. But Claire was far away now, floating somewhere between consciousness and something else. She could see herself on the stretcher, see the blood spreading across the white sheets, see Emma's face twisted in horror. And she could see the basement of her grandmother's house, where the eggs were hatching one by one, drawn by the birth happening miles away, drawn by the blood in the air, the scent of new life. The cycle demanded balance, one birth, many deaths, one child to carry on, many creatures to feed it, to protect it, to ensure the line continued. Her grandmother had understood. That's why she'd stayed in the house, alone, for 40 years, guarding the basement, keeping watch, making sure nothing disturbed the eggs before their time. But Claire had opened the door. The ambulance doors burst open, bright lights, white walls, people in scrubs rushing toward her. They wheeled her down a corridor, through swinging doors, into an operating room where machines beeped and hummed. "Prep for emergency C-section," someone ordered. "Doctor, you need to see this." Claire's eyes fluttered open. Above her, the surgical team had gone silent. They were staring at the monitor, at the ultrasound image that showed something impossible. Two distinct forms, one human, one decidedly not. "What the hell is that?" someone whispered. The doctor's face was pale. "We need to..." The lights went out. Every machine, every monitor, everything. The operating room plunged into darkness. Complete, total. The kind of darkness that shouldn't exist in a modern hospital. Then the backup power kicked in. Red lights flooded the room. Emergency mode. But something had changed in that moment of darkness. Claire felt it, the thing inside her, finally ready. It moved. A ripple across her belly, then a bulge. Something pushing from inside, hard. Oh God, a nurse whispered. Oh God, it's... The bulge moved, slid across Claire's stomach, left to right, like something was pacing inside her, searching for a way out. Claire screamed. Not from pain, from the wrongness of it, the sensation of something that wasn't her baby, something that had been waiting, growing, getting strong enough for this moment. It found what it was looking for. Claire felt the tearing, felt something rip through her from the inside. Wet, sharp, final. The screaming started. Not Claire's screams. She was beyond that now, floating in a space beyond pain. The screams came from the surgical team, from Emma outside the operating room, from people in the hallway who saw something rush past them, something that couldn't exist. Claire turned her head, saw it in the reflection of the darkened windows. Small, no bigger than a newborn, but moving with terrible purpose. Its skin was translucent, showing organs that pulsed with their own light. Its eyes were too large, too aware. And it was heading for the door, for the nursery. "Stop it!" someone shouted. But no one moved. Fear had frozen them all in place. Except Emma. Claire's sister burst into the operating room, grabbed a surgical tray, ran after the creature. Her footsteps echoed down the corridor, then a crash, a scream, then silence. The doctor bent over Claire. His face swam into focus. "We need to get the other one out, now." They cut her open. Claire felt the pressure, the pulling, but no pain. She was too far gone for pain. They lifted something from her belly, something that cried with a human voice, that looked human in every way except for its eyes. Those eyes were too old, too knowing. "It's a girl," the doctor said. His voice was hollow. A nurse wrapped the baby in a blanket, held her up for Claire to see. The infant stared at her mother with those ancient eyes. Claire understood. This was the price. This was always the price. One child to continue the line. One child who would grow up human enough, who would live and love and have daughters of her own. And when those daughters came of age, the cycle would begin again. "Emma," Claire whispered. "Your sister's fine," the nurse said quickly. Too quickly. "Where is she?" No one answered. Claire tried to sit up, but her body wouldn't respond. The doctor pressed her back down. His hands were gentle but firm. "You've lost a lot of blood. You need to stay still." "Where is Emma?" The nurse's face crumpled. "She went after it. We heard there was..." She couldn't finish. Claire closed her eyes. She knew what the nurse couldn't say. Emma had tried to stop it, and the creature had been hungry. So very hungry. It would feed until it was strong enough to return to the house, to the basement, to wait for the next generation. And the baby in the nurse's arms would grow up never knowing what she carried in her blood. What waited for her daughters? Unless someone broke the cycle. Claire's hand moved to the IV stand beside her, found the clamp that controlled the drip. She squeezed it shut, then yanked the line free. Blood began to flow freely from her arm, pooling on the white sheets. "What are you doing?" The doctor lunged for her, but Claire held him back with strength she shouldn't have had. "The house," she gasped. "Burn it, burn everything." "You're not making sense, you're in shock." "The basement?" Claire's vision was dimming, but she forced the words out. "The eggs, burn them before they hatch. Before more..." Her voice failed. The room tilted. Suddenly she was back in her grandmother's house, standing in the basement. But she wasn't alone. Her grandmother was there, young and pregnant, staring at the thing they'd buried in the concrete. "I'm sorry," the old woman whispered. "I thought I could protect you. I thought if I stayed, if I watched over it, the cycle would end with me." "It's never going to end," Claire said, "is it?" Her grandmother's hand rested on her swollen belly. "Not as long as we keep making the same choice. Not as long as we choose to let them live." Claire looked down at her own stomach. Now empty, she understood. Her grandmother had known what her son was, what he carried. But she'd loved him anyway, had watched him grow up, get married, have a daughter of his own, had hoped against hope that somehow the blood would dilute, that the curse would fade. But curses didn't fade, they waited. The hospital room came back into focus. The doctor was shouting orders. Nurses rushing around her. The baby, her baby, was crying somewhere nearby. "Name," Claire whispered. The doctor leaned close. "What?" "Her name," Claire's voice was barely audible. "Emma." "Your sister. Name the baby Emma." Claire's eyes found the nurse holding her daughter. So she remembers, so she knows. The nurse nodded, tears streaming down her face. Claire's vision was fading now, darkness creeping in from the edges. But before it took her completely, she saw it. Through the window, in the parking lot below. A small figure, moving with inhuman speed, heading south. Toward her grandmother's house. Toward home. The cycle would continue. It always did. But she'd done what she could. She'd given the baby her sister's name, a reminder of the price. And maybe, just maybe, when little Emma grew up and had daughters of her own, someone would remember to burn the house down. Maybe someone would finally break the cycle. Or maybe not. The darkness took her. Her last thought was of her grandmother, alone in that house for 40 years, standing guard over something that could never truly die. Some things, Claire realized, were patient enough to wait forever.